The massive research vessel glided silently over Earth University's sprawling campus, its sleek metallic surface reflecting the morning sunlight. Professor Yoon Ji-eun pressed her hand against the transparent viewing panel, her iridescent skin shifting from a nervous pale blue to a curious deep green. Hyunwoo, her young research assistant, adjusted the translation devices and checked the environmental scanners. Their mission was simple, yet complex. Understand human behavior, specifically their peculiar relationship with a beverage called coffee. The ship landed smoothly near the university's central quad. Students rushed past, carrying strange ceramic containers that steamed and released an intense aroma. Ji-eun noticed how these humans moved with purpose, their hands tightly wrapped around these cups as if they were lifelines. "Look," Hyunwoo whispered, pointing at a group of students near a large building marked Campus Cafe. A young woman in a red jacket stumbled, her eyes half closed, then suddenly perked up after taking a massive gulp from her mug. Her transformation was almost instantaneous. Ji-eun made careful notes. The human seemed to undergo a rapid state change, moving from near unconsciousness to full alertness in mere seconds. Such a biological response was unheard of in their galactic research. The campus buzzed with energy. Humans of various ages walked quickly, most carrying these mysterious cups. Some talked animatedly, others seemed lost in thought, but all shared one common element: the coffee. A tall human male approached their landing zone. His name tag read, Daniel Roberts, International Student Exchange Coordinator. He looked directly at their ship, showing no fear or surprise. "Welcome to Earth University," Daniel said, his voice clear through the translation device. "I see you're here to study our cultural practices." Ji-eun's skin turned a diplomatic shade of soft blue. "We are interested in understanding human social behaviors," she responded carefully. Daniel smiled. "Want to see something interesting? Follow me." Inside the campus cafe, a world of complexity unfolded. Machines hissed and steamed. Humans waited, in long lines discussing complex topics while anticipating their drinks. The smell was overwhelming, rich, roasted, intense. "This is more than a drink," Daniel explained. "It's a ritual, a culture, a way of connecting." Hyunwoo watched a student prepare her drink. The process seemed ritualistic, grinding beans, measuring water temperature, creating what seemed like a precise scientific experiment. "How much of this liquid do humans consume daily?" Ji-eun asked. Daniel laughed. "Average American drinks about 3 cups per day. Some drink much more." The concept was bizarre. A potentially stimulating substance, consumed multiple times daily, with apparent social and biological significance. A young student nearby dropped her cup. Instead of panic, other humans rushed to help. One offered her another drink. Another checked if she was okay. The coffee cup seemed to be a social connector. Hyunwoo's scientific brain was racing. Multiple hypotheses formed. Was coffee a social lubricant? A performance enhancer? A biological necessity? Ji-eun observed a professor grading papers, a half-empty coffee mug beside him. His concentration seemed enhanced, his movements precise. Another data point in their growing research. The cafe became a microcosm of human interaction. Some sat alone, deeply focused. Others gathered in groups, laughing, their hands wrapped around steaming mugs. Age, background, clothing varied, but coffee was the common thread. "Fascinating," Ji-eun murmured, her skin now a deep emerald of intellectual excitement. "Absolutely fascinating." As the day progressed, they continued observing. Humans returned to the cafe multiple times. They discussed work, relationships, dreams, all centered around these coffee moments. Hyunwoo's initial scanner readings confirmed something extraordinary. The beverage wasn't just a drink. It was a complex cultural phenomenon that seemed to transcend simple nutrition. Daniel watched their reactions, amused. "Surprised?" he asked. Ji-eun's skin flickered between shades of curiosity and wonder. "Completely," she admitted. Their first day of research had revealed more questions than answers. But one thing was certain. Coffee was far more than a simple beverage. It was a window into human complexity, resilience, and social connection. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the campus, the alien researchers knew their journey of understanding had only just begun. The laboratory hummed with quiet intensity as Professor Yoon Ji-eun carefully placed the coffee sample under the advanced molecular scanner. Hyun-woo adjusted the equipment, his hands moving with practiced precision. "Remarkable," Ji-eun muttered, watching the molecular structure dance across the holographic display. The liquid seemed deceptively simple, but its chemical composition told a different story. Caffeine, a compound that would typically paralyze most known galactic species, appeared almost harmless to humans. The molecular bonds twisted and transformed in ways that defied conventional biological understanding. Kira, another research team member, pulled up comparative charts. On her screen, a terrifying narrative unfolded. Where other species would experience complete neurological shutdown, humans seemed to thrive. "Look at this," she said, pointing to a complex interaction between caffeine molecules and human neural receptors. "The human body doesn't just tolerate the substance, it actively converts it into additional energy." Hyun-woo ran multiple simulations. Each test revealed something more bizarre than the last. The coffee wasn't just a drink. It was a sophisticated biological enhancement tool. Blood samples from human volunteers showed extraordinary results. Caffeine triggered a cascade of biological responses that would be considered dangerous in any other known species. White blood cells became more active, neural pathways expanded, metabolism increased. "It's like they've domesticated a mild poison," Ji-eun observed, her skin shifting to a deep purple of scientific excitement. The team discovered that humans had developed unique enzyme variations that processed caffeine differently. What would destroy another species' nervous system became a performance-enhancing substance for humans. One simulation showed a human soldier consuming coffee before a challenging physical task. The molecular response was nothing short of miraculous. Muscle response time increased, mental clarity sharpened, fatigue resistance multiplied. "They're turning a potentially harmful substance into a biological advantage," Hyun-woo whispered, almost in awe. The research revealed multiple layers of complexity. Coffee wasn't just about caffeine. Different bean origins, roasting methods, and preparation techniques created subtle molecular variations. A dark roast from Colombia showed different neural interactions compared to a light roast from Ethiopia. The genetic complexity was mind-boggling. Humans had transformed a simple plant into a sophisticated biological tool. Temperature played a crucial role. Hot coffee triggered different molecular responses compared to cold brew. The human body seemed to have an almost symbiotic relationship with this beverage. Genetic markers suggested something even more intriguing. Some humans were more responsive to coffee than others. It wasn't just about the drink. Individual genetic variations played a significant role. "We're looking at a form of voluntary biological optimization," Ji-eun explained, reviewing the data. Humans intentionally consume a substance that temporarily enhances their capabilities. The team discovered that coffee impacted more than just immediate performance. Regular consumption seemed to trigger long-term neurological adaptations. Humans were essentially training their bodies to become more efficient. Stress hormones, typically destructive in most species, were modified and managed differently in coffee-consuming humans. The drink appeared to act as a complex biological regulator. "It's like they've discovered a natural performance enhancement mechanism," Kira remarked, her scientific skepticism slowly transforming into genuine respect. Blood pressure, mental acuity, physical endurance all showed measurable improvements. The coffee wasn't just a drink. It was a sophisticated biological technology that humans had developed over centuries. Hyun-woo ran final computational models. The results were clear. Coffee represented a unique human capability to transform potential biological threats into performance advantages. "Imagine if other species could do this," Ji-eun said, her voice filled with wonder. "Turning a potentially harmful substance into a tool for improvement?" The laboratory fell silent. Weeks of research had revealed something profound about human biology. They weren't just surviving. They were actively optimizing their biological potential through a simple beverage. As night fell, and the laboratory lights dimmed, the alien research team knew they had uncovered something extraordinary. Humans were far more complex than any galactic database had ever suggested. Coffee was more than a drink. It was a testament to human adaptability, innovation, and biological resilience. The coffee shop bustled with human activity. Daniel Roberts guided the alien researchers through a world of steam, aroma, and complex social interactions. Lara, one of the alien researchers, looked overwhelmed by the sensory experience. First rule of coffee culture, Daniel said, it's never just about the drink. Humans moved with practiced rituals. Some stood in long lines checking small electronic devices. Others sat in groups, their conversations punctuated by careful sips from ceramic mugs. The air was thick with multiple conversations and the rich smell of roasted beans. A barista called out names. Each person responded to their unique identifier, collecting personalized drinks with remarkable precision. Lara watched, fascinated. Each drink seemed like a personal statement. Watch closely, Daniel whispered to the alien researchers. Coffee is a social language here. An elderly man sat alone, nursing a dark brew. A group of students shared a large pitcher, laughing and discussing something with intense animation. A business professional typed on a laptop, her hand never far from her coffee cup. Hyunwoo's research scanner worked overtime. Each interaction revealed layers of complexity. The coffee wasn't just a beverage, it was a social connector, a conversation starter, a moment of personal space. Different cups mean different things, Daniel explained. See that large cup? That's someone who needs serious caffeine. The small fancy cup? Someone enjoying a moment of luxury. Lara tentatively approached the counter. I want to understand, she told the barista. Her translator converted her alien language into perfect English. The barista smiled. What's your style? Americano? Latte? Cappuccino? Confusion crossed Lara's face. Daniel intervened. She's new to coffee. Something mild, please. A vanilla latte appeared. Lara's first sip was cautious. Her alien physiology responded differently. Her skin momentarily changed color, reflecting internal biological reactions. Interesting, she murmured. It's not just taste, it's an experience. The coffee shop revealed unexpected social dynamics. A businessman shared his table with a student. Two strangers discussed a podcast while waiting in line. The drink created invisible connections. Hyunwoo noticed something remarkable. Coffee breaks weren't just about drinking. They were moments of human vulnerability, connection, and shared experience. An old couple entered. They knew the barista by name. Their order came without speaking, a decades-old ritual of familiarity. The alien researchers watched, fascinated by this human intimacy. In some offices, Daniel explained, bringing coffee for colleagues is a sign of respect. In dating, sharing a coffee can mean interest. It's complicated. Lara's research notes filled quickly. Coffee represented more than nutrition. It was a complex social tool with unwritten rules and deep cultural significance. A young artist sketched in the corner, her cappuccino growing cold. A group of students prepared for an exam, multiple coffee cups surrounding their study materials. Each scene told a different story. The aliens discovered coffee had multiple personalities. Morning coffee was serious and functional. Afternoon coffee was social and relaxed. Evening coffee was intimate and conversational. Humans are storytellers, Hyunwoo observed, and coffee is their medium. Daniel laughed. Exactly. Each cup has a story. Each sip is a paragraph in human experience. As afternoon turned to evening, the coffee shop's energy shifted. Softer lighting, more intimate conversations. The same space transformed like a living organism. Lara's final observation was profound. Coffee is not a drink, she told her colleagues. It's a human ritual of connection. The alien researchers left the coffee shop changed. What seemed like a simple beverage was actually a complex cultural experience. They had learned more about humanity in those few hours than in months of scientific research. Outside, the city continued its rhythm. Humans moved with their coffee cups, small vessels of warmth, connection, and unspoken stories. Daniel watched the aliens leave, a knowing smile on his face. They had only begun to understand the magic of coffee. The conference room buzzed with anticipation. Professor Yoon Ji-eun stood before a panel of galactic researchers, her presentation about to challenge everything they knew about human behavior. Humans voluntarily consume a substance that challenges their biological balance, she began, her voice steady and clear. Holographic displays showed complex molecular interactions. Coffee seemed less like a beverage and more like a calculated, biological experiment. Each slide revealed another layer of human psychological complexity. Hyunwoo managed the technical presentation, his hands moving smoothly across holographic controls. Behind him, images of humans performing complex tasks while consuming coffee played in sequence. A military training video caught everyone's attention. Soldiers consumed coffee before extreme physical challenges. Their performance didn't just improve, it transformed. Fatigue vanished. Mental clarity sharpened. Physical limitations seemed to dissolve. They intentionally introduce a mild stress factor to enhance performance, Ji-eun explained. Her skin shifted to a deep blue of intellectual excitement. The alien. Researchers leaned forward. This concept was completely alien to their understanding of biological optimization. Most galactic species avoided potential biological stressors. Humans embraced them. Another slide showed students preparing for critical examinations. Coffee consumption increased dramatically during high-stress periods. Instead of avoiding stress, humans seemed to use it as a tool for growth. It's not about elimination, Ji-eun continued. It's about management, transformation. Psychological profiles revealed something even more fascinating. Humans didn't view coffee as a threat. They saw it as a partner in their daily challenges. The drink represented control, not danger. A video showed a writer struggling with a complex project. As coffee consumed, creative energy seemed to flow. Neurons fired faster. Connections became clearer. The beverage wasn't just a stimulant. It was a creativity catalyst. Hyunwoo highlighted comparative studies. Where other species would collapse under similar biological stress, humans thrived. Coffee represented a voluntary evolutionary mechanism. They are essentially training their bodies to handle complexity, he explained. Each cup is a small challenge. Each challenge makes them stronger. The research suggested something revolutionary. Humans didn't just survive challenges. They actively sought them. Coffee was a microcosm of their entire psychological approach to existence. Personal stories emerged. A nurse working multiple shifts, a researcher pulling an all-night experiment, a student balancing work and education. Coffee was their constant companion, their performance partner. One researcher asked the critical question, why would a species deliberately consume something potentially harmful? Ji-eun's response was immediate. Because humans see potential where others see risk. They transform challenges into opportunities. The psychological profile was clear. Coffee represented human adaptability. It wasn't about the drink. It was about the mindset. Comparative charts showed human resilience. Other species would require complete rest after intense activities. Humans used coffee to extend their capabilities, to push beyond traditional biological limitations. They are writing their own evolutionary script, Hyunwoo added. Not waiting for nature, but actively participating in their development. The presentation concluded with a powerful statement. Coffee was more than a beverage. It was a symbol of human potential, a liquid representation of their ability to turn challenges into strengths. Alien researchers sat in stunned silence. Their understanding of biological optimization had been completely challenged. Ji-eun's final slide showed a simple human quote. Life begins after coffee. The room erupted in discussions. Some researchers were skeptical, others were fascinated, but everyone understood something fundamental had been revealed about human psychology. As the conference ended, The alien research team knew their understanding of human potential had been forever changed. Coffee was not just a drink. It was a window into the human spirit, complex, challenging, and endlessly fascinating. Hyunwoo looked at Ji-eun and smiled. They had uncovered something profound about humanity, something that went far beyond a simple beverage. The psychological revelation was complete. Humans were not just a species. They were a continuous, deliberate evolution. The Galactic Academic Council chamber fell silent as Professor Yoon Ji-eun presented their final research findings. Holographic displays flickered with images of humans and their mysterious coffee ritual. Nemo, the youngest researcher, stepped forward. His voice trembled with excitement and revelation. "We came to study a beverage," he began. "We discovered an entire philosophy of survival." The council members represented dozens of advanced civilizations. Some looked confused. Others appeared genuinely intrigued. Humans had always been an enigma, but this research promised to unlock deeper mysteries. Ji-eun's presentation revealed something extraordinary. Coffee was more than a drink. It was a metaphor for human existence. Each sip represented their approach to life's challenges. Humans do not avoid difficulty, she explained. They transform it into opportunity. Molecular studies showed how humans turned a potentially harmful substance into a performance enhancer. Psychological profiles revealed a species that didn't just adapt. They deliberately created scenarios for growth. Hyunwoo presented comparative charts. Where other species would collapse under stress, humans seemed to generate energy. Coffee was their tool of transformation. The research team had documented hundreds of scenarios. A medical student working multiple shifts, a single parent balancing work and family, soldiers performing under extreme conditions. In each scenario, coffee played a crucial role. "They are writing their own evolutionary script," Nemo added. His skin shifted between shades of excitement and intellectual wonder. The council members reviewed the data. Centuries of galactic research had never revealed such a unique approach to biological optimization. Humans weren't just surviving. They were deliberately expanding their capabilities. One senior council member asked the critical question, how can a species deliberately introduce a mild toxin and turn it into a performance tool? Ji-eun's response was simple. Because humans see potential where others see risk. The final presentation revealed coffee as a microcosm of human potential. It wasn't about the liquid, it was about the mindset, a willingness to challenge biological limitations. Video evidence showed remarkable human achievements. Scientists working through the night, artists creating masterpieces, entrepreneurs building global companies. Coffee was their constant companion. Nemo highlighted a fundamental discovery. Humans don't wait for evolution, he said. They participate in their own development. The research suggested something revolutionary. Coffee represented human psychological resilience, a liquid symbol of their ability to transform challenges into strengths. Council members began discussing implications. If humans approached a simple beverage with such complexity, what other potential lay hidden in their species? Hyunwoo shared personal observations. How humans used coffee not just as a drink, but as a social connector. A moment of shared experience. A ritual of human connection. The presentation concluded with a powerful statement. Humans were not just another species in the galactic catalog. They were a continuous, deliberate evolution. They don't just survive, Ji-eun said. They optimize, they grow, they transform. The chamber erupted in discussions. Some researchers were skeptical, others were completely fascinated, but everyone understood something fundamental had been revealed about human potential. Nemo's final slide showed a simple human quote, "I have measured out my life with coffee spoons." The research team had begun with a simple question about a human beverage. They concluded with a profound understanding of human nature. As the council prepared their final report, one thing became clear. Humans were not just another species to be studied. They were a phenomenon to be understood. Coffee had become more than a research subject. It was a key to understanding human complexity. The alien researchers looked at each other. They had expected to study a drink. Instead, they had discovered a philosophy of existence. Outside the council chamber, the universe continued its silent expansion. But something had changed. The understanding of human potential would never be the same. Humanity had been revealed, one coffee cup at a time.